Good morning to all of you class 8. Welcome back to English grammar class. Today we will discuss future continuous tense. In the previous class we started with the future tense and I explained simple future tense, right? So today we will continue with the second form of future tense, that is future continuous tense. All right, let us do a little recap of what we have learned. We have learned about future tense. Simple future tense is it is used to express an action which has not taken place and it will take place in future. That is a simple future tense. All right, let us pay a little attention to the use of shall and will. This was covered yesterday. I want to repeat this thing today. Shall is a modal verb. That means it is a helping verb which is used to indicate future action. It is commonly used with sentence I or we. This is I or we is a first person, and it often suggests something. It makes a suggestion such as shall we go, okay, shall we eat. So shall is often used to make a suggestion, okay, and it is used with the first person. The traditional rule is that shall is used with first person, that is I and we, to form the future tense. Now this is traditional rule because shall is not very commonly used, okay, that is why it is mentioned as traditional rule. However, there is an exception to this rule, okay, we'll come to that. And will is used with second and third person forms, that is you, he, she, it, they. This is used in the third person form, okay. Example. Now I will example of these two rules. I shall be late. This is an assumption, okay, we are not sure about it. This is a suggestion, assumption, it is not confirmed, okay. I will be late, it is assertive. I will be late, I know that I will be late, okay. Then you will be late, okay. So here you see I and will, I and you, we have used will with it, okay. Now the exception which I was talking about, when it comes to expressing a strong determination to do something, the roles are reversed. Will is used with the first person, like you shall go to the picnic. It is showing we are expressing a strong determination. And shall with the second and third person. Example, I will not tolerate such behavior, okay, sorry, yes, this is the first example. Will is used with the first person. I will not tolerate such behavior. So here we have used the first person, right? And shall with the second or third person. You shall go to the picnic. So you is a second person. So in these two cases, when we are expressing a strong determination in a sentence, shall and will do a reverse role. That means will, we will use will with the first person, which traditionally says that it is used with the second and third person. And we will use shall with the second and third person, which traditionally it says that it is used with the first person, okay. So this is an exception. So this was about will and shall. So today's we will continue with the future continuous tense. Our learning objective would be to define, identify and use future continuous tense correctly. What is the future continuous tense? It is also referred as progressive tense. Continuous, and the synonym of continuous is progressive. So in all the forms, continuous, if it is a present continuous tense, then we can also refer to it as present progressive tense. All right. So future progressive tense is a verb tense that indicates an action will take place in future and continue for an expected length of time. This is very important, that it will continue. This is a difference between the word continue, makes a difference between the simple future tense and the future continuous tense, that it will take place in future and will continue for expected length of time, right? Now forms. How to use future continuous tense in a positive, negative and interrogative sentence. These three sentences. Positive, subject plus will or shall plus be plus verb and ing form. Like here, subject, I will be singing in the concert tomorrow, right? And in negative, we will add not after will or shall. Subject here is I will not be singing in the concert tomorrow. And in interrogative, shall or will, we will put it before the subject, right? So will you be singing in the concert tomorrow? All right, the rule is more or less the same. Placement of not in a negative sentence, and placement second, the subject taking a second place in interrogative sentences. This is more or less the same rule in all the forms of tenses. Okay, now uses. When do we use future continuous tense? An action in future to occur. That means one action will occur in future and it will continue for a definite period of time. Okay, so we ensure about it that it will occur. Then an action which will be in progress in future. Okay, and when to ask, we use it to ask others' plans. Okay, we use future continuous tense to ask others' plans. And in negative sentence, it is used to state action will not take place. Now I will explain these uses with some examples. Look at this. I will be visiting my grandmother tomorrow. The word here is tomorrow. So this is the example of an action in future to occur. I will be visiting my grandmother tomorrow, right? Then an action which will be in progress in future. We shall be having a party next week. We shall be having a party next week, right? Here, which will be in progress in future. Okay. Then when it comes to the question, to ask others' plan. Will you be playing football? So we have used here to ask others a question. And the fourth, in a negative sentence, to state that action will not take place. We will not be playing football tomorrow. Alright, so these are the 4 examples of the future continuous tense. Now this topic is future continuous tense is not at all difficult. It's very simple and short. So I hope you all have understood the lesson. If this particular topic, in the next class I will explain another form of future tense. So children, I will upload this PPT in a Google Classroom. Please go through the PPT and make note of this use of shall and will. Please make a note of this shall and will in your copy. And learning objective and the future continuous tense. And yesterday's class PPT is also uploaded in Google Classroom. Please write it down as classwork. So thank you students. You have a great day.